Welcome to Financials with How. It's a joy to be together with you again as we continue on the Making Wealth series and focus on the woman of wealth. Today, the woman who comes to me for us to talk about is Jael. I'm excited to talk about Jael. Jael's story is tucked in the Bible, one of those places you would never go looking for something, even if it was lost. But it's so profound as we reflect on how her wealth served her people. And what comes to mind is a call for us as women to end war. Here goes. We read from Judges chapter 4 from verse 17 through to the end, that's 24. However, Sisera had fled on foot to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, for there was peace between Jabin, king of Hazor, and the house of Heber the Kenite. 18. And Jael went out to meet Sisera and said to him, "Turn aside, my lord, to me, do not fear." And when he turned aside with her into the tent, she covered him with a blanket. Then he said to her, "Please give me a little water to drink, for I am thirsty." So she opened a jug of milk, gave him a drink, and covered him. And he said to her, "Stand at the door of the tent, and if any man comes and inquires of you and says, 'Is there any man here?' you shall say no." Then Jael, Heber's wife, took a tent peg and took a hammer in her hand and went softly to him and drove the peg into his temple, and it went down into the ground, for he was fast asleep and weary, so he died. And then as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out to meet him and said to him, "Come, I will show you the man whom you seek." And when he went into her tent, there lay Sisera dead with a peg in his temple. So on that day, God subdued Jabin, king of Canaan, in the presence of the children of Israel. And the hand of the children of Israel grew stronger and stronger against Jabin, king of Canaan, until they had destroyed Jabin, king of Canaan. Wow. Backstory to this is the children of Israel have left Egypt, they have wandered in the desert, they have come into the promised land, and Joshua has died, and the land is ruled by a different set of judges. The transition from Moses to Joshua was key, but Joshua to other leaders kind of fizzled out. So the enemies who are still in the land in Canaan would oppress the children of Israel from time to time. And during this time, we'll speak about this other woman. It's interesting, we started with Jael before Deborah, but anyway. So Deborah is a judge at that time, and then Barak is the army leader. And Barak calls for a war to not just stand up against one of his enemies, this is King Jabin. And King Jabin was known because he had chariots of iron. So you can imagine, guys are on foot, and this one is on horse and chariots. And Sisera was his army leader. So they come into war, and Barak calls Deborah and says, "Go to us." And Deborah tells her distinctly, she prophesies, "Because I have come to war with you, the victory shall be received from the hand of our own." And for me, that is just so, it's so profound. It stands strongly from what has been widely faced at scripture, or the Christian faith does not put a woman in place, because we see it right from the Old Testament. So come in, Jael, and she knows about the children of Israel and who their God is. Please remember, she's not Israelite, she's Kenite. Kenite was a certain tribe who, through treachery, so this girl, treachery done run in her blood, got the children of Israel to sign her. Was it Kenite or Lebanese? Let me not lie to you, but anyway. So we see Jael, and she lives on the border of where the children of Israel live. And she knows what the peace of the children of Israel mean to her. And having heard of the war, quickly identifies Sisera, probably by how he was dressed. And then Sisera comes in and even sells himself out more. When he says, when someone is looking for me, tell them there is no one. And I love how Jael did not cower. She did not, in that moment, say, okay, no. From the way the scripture reads, she was quietly entertaining this guest. And for me, it just looked so beautiful that this is a woman who had a place of her own. She had a tent, a place that she could bring someone in. This was her wealth that she carried. The next thing that stands out for me concerning this woman is how she went over and above. She was asked for water, but she offered milk. And then over and above, she did not offer it in a common dish, but she offered it in a lordly dish. Meaning this is a woman who had kept things in her house for due season, for due time. She did not know at what moment she would be needed to use the things in her house for a certain purpose. And then we go to how it closes. In addition, she had a 10th peg that served the purpose of putting an end to the enemy of the children of Israel. Now, of course, we're not here to propose killing people, but you get the drift. The presence of this woman, the ability to use every single thing that was in her hand to end her life. And this is a call to us as women in the different spaces we are. I could easily relate this woman with a mother who is going about her business in her home. Probably that day she woke up, cleaned, released her husband for where he was going, released the children for where they were going. Servants have been directed for where they were going, and she's in the home waiting, maybe preparing the day meal, but very alert and present to be used of God. And it's a call over and over to us that wherever we will be, whatever we carry, we will be called to put an end to it. And the small things which we think are so simple, it will be as easy as making sure every month there's a contribution you're making to a certain cause, just because there is margin in your budget. It could be as easy as during the holiday, opening your home to foster a child, because there is margin in it. It could be as easy as every end of the year, ensuring every worker in your home receives a double salary, because there is margin. You bring to an end the things that will cause woe to people. I want to continue to encourage us in our making mercies to see ourselves as women who can be present in the spaces we show up in with what we carry. We don't need extra all the time. As always, I encourage you to journal. I encourage you to write. Challenge yourself. Ask yourself, how can I be a woman who ends well? How can I show up all the time with what is in my hands, what is in the world? Thank you so much for listening and looking forward to the next time. It's on.